Welcome to On This Day, where we look back at the moments that made history, one day at a time. From major world events to the weird and unexpected, every date has a story. So, what happened on 16th of June? Let's find out. Today's date has been packed with moments that changed the world. From groundbreaking protests and tragic uprisings to space missions, musical milestones, and even a surreal moment involving a pig in Parliament. It's a mix of triumph, tragedy, and the totally unexpected. Let's start in 1961 when Soviet ballet legend Rudolf Nureyev made headlines not for a performance but for a dramatic leap of a different kind, defecting to the West while on tour in Paris. He evaded Soviet agents at the airport and sought asylum in France, becoming one of the most celebrated dancers in the world and a Cold War icon of artistic freedom. Jump to 1976 in South Africa, where a tragic but powerful chapter in the fight against apartheid unfolded. The Soweto Uprising. Thousands of black school children marched to protest being forced to learn in Afrikaans. The peaceful protest turned deadly when police opened fire, killing hundreds. It sparked global outrage and became a turning point in the anti-apartheid movement. Speaking of resistance, back in 1858, Abraham Lincoln delivered his famous House Divided speech in Illinois. He boldly declared that the United States could not survive half slave and half free. It was a risky political move, but one that helped shape the moral foundation of his presidency and the future of the nation. Fast forward to 1963, cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova made history as the first woman in space. Aboard Vostok 6, she orbited the Earth 48 times in just under 3 days. She wasn't just a symbol of Soviet achievement. She paved the way for generations of women in space exploration. In 1903, the Ford Motor Company was officially incorporated. With just 12 investors and $28,000, Henry Ford started something that would completely reshape transportation, industry, and the modern world. And just think, it all started with a small group betting on big dreams. Over in Ireland, 1904 marked the day James Joyce set his entire novel, Ulysses. Why that date? Because it was the day of his first date with Nora Barnacle, who would become his lifelong partner. That's right, literary history was born out of a first date. Fans still celebrate it today as Bloomsday. Let's jump ahead to 2010 when South Africa hosted the FIFA World Cup, and something unexpected went viral: the Vuvuzela. Love it or hate it, that buzzing horn became the sound of the tournament. Unmissable, unignorable, and totally unforgettable. Now here's a strange one. In 1858, the British Parliament was temporarily evacuated. Why? The smell of the River Thames had become unbearable due to sewage buildup. Known as the Great Stink, it actually helped push through modern sanitation reforms. So yes, sometimes progress comes from really bad smells. Back in 1958, Imre Nagy, former Hungarian prime minister and a symbol of resistance to Soviet rule, was executed by the government following the failed Hungarian uprising of 1956. Though silenced then, his legacy lived on and he was later reburied with honors in 1989, becoming a symbol of national pride and freedom. And in the world of music, 1972 saw David Bowie unleash his alter ego, Ziggy Stardust, with the release of The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and The Spiders from Mars. This glam rock masterpiece didn't just redefine Bowie's career, it left a permanent mark on pop culture and inspired generations of artists. Love discovering what happened on this day in history? Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Back to the past. In 1944, during the World War II, the first V-1 flying bomb, an early cruise missile developed by Nazi Germany, struck London. These so-called buzz bombs caused massive destruction and fear, but also accelerated advancements in air defense and early missile tech. In a different kind of launch, 1977 brought the debut of Apple's second computer, the Apple II. Sleek, powerful for the time, and one of the first mass-market PCs with color graphics, it helped kick off the home computing revolution and made Apple a household name. Here's a royal twist. On this day in 1903, the infamous Peanut Panic rocked the British royal family. Okay, not really. But it was the day King Edward VII survived an attempted assassination in Belgium while riding in an open carriage. The would-be attacker was stopped before anyone got hurt. Meanwhile, in 1933, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the National Industrial Recovery Act into law, part of his ambitious New Deal program to fight the Great Depression. It didn't solve everything, but it marked a big shift in how government supported the economy and working Americans. And finally, let's end with a tale from the animal kingdom. In 1977, an unusual political protest took place in London when a man attempted to run for parliament, using a pig as his campaign mascot. It was bizarre, it was headline-grabbing, and it's a reminder that British politics has always had room for the eccentric. That's what happened on 16th of June throughout history. Made it this far? Drop your favorite historical fact in the comments. Learned something new? Hit subscribe and come back tomorrow. You never know what the past has in store.